Now, like,
I remember when I went to his bedroom to say goodnight, and he was crying because of the abuse that he was enduring in this school system.
Then why did you stay in Mexico?
You need to leave. That is disgusting.
look at the dude with the mic. He laughing. Yo, the dude who said it, like, he have no idea that he said something offensive. And the dude with the mic is like, hey, we got one. Now you can see. It sounds like he's talking about his son, maybe his grandson. But judging by the vest and the button-down combo, probably the grandson. He sounds like he's talking about how his grandson was enduring abuse at school, and now we get to see it live in person, which is hilarious. He has no idea that he's being offensive. And some people do and some people don't. And it's just like, the perpetuity of offense, discontinuation of diversity. Trying to find the right word for it. But it's, boils down to, you stay over there.
That's indicative of what these kids are experiencing. That's indicative of what our kids are experiencing. Comments like that. And he's sharing a story right now, and that's indicative of what our kids are experiencing. So this is the kind of community.
This is a platform for discussion. No, that's right. That's right. Okay.
You're right. You got the floor.
I got respect for you, buddy. Whoever you are.
I got respect for you, buddy, whoever you are. That was a microcosm of exactly what everybody is talking about. And you see how the dude handed the mic over. It's like, yo, please make a fool of yourself again. Like, mwah. The racism here is just perfect.
But no, you got the floor. Hey, you interrupted and take the mic. You interrupted and take.
All right. We're gonna have this meeting.
Let me answer the question. He asked me a question. He asked me a question, why didn't I stay in Mexico? Because this is the greatest country in the world.
Well, you're complaining about being here.
You about to get on this Che Guevara. You about to get on this. Yo.
You're complaining about being here.
It's not your turn.
It's not your turn. You get the mic next.
Okay,
You get the mic
here's
next.
the thing.
Okay, have a seat.
We're
Hold on, my man was about to get on this Fidel Castro right quick. Hold on. We're going to keep going with this one. We're going to keep going.
Now to the outrage growing over racist incident caught on camera. A father targeting another dad during a school meeting, others in the room coming to his defense. And now we're hearing from that father who was attacked. TJ Holmes is here with the story. Good morning, TJ.
Okay, a lot of people who see this video are going to be shocked straight by what they see. Others are going to shrug their shoulders and say it's emblematic of problems in this country. What we're about to see is a school meeting about racism. And before parents could even make their point, another parent proved their point by telling an immigrant, you don't like it here? Then why did you leave Mexico? A meeting about racism in a Michigan school erupts when Adrian Iriola, who immigrated from Mexico in the 1980s, was interrupted as he described his son.
Shout out Adrian, though, because he's smart. Because he knew immediately exactly what that implicated, though. Because he was just smiling like he couldn't hold it.
Experience.
I went to his bedroom to say goodnight, and he was crying because of the abuse that he was enduring in this school system.
Then why did you stay in Mexico?
You need to leave. That is disgusting.
That's indicative of what.
The woman behind him in shock. Like, you need to leave. Get your ass out, dog. Yo, who says that, bro? That's one of them joints that pop off in the back of your head, and then you tamp it down like, oh, chill. You know what I mean?
These kids are experiencing. That's indicative of what our kids are experiencing. Comments like that. And that's he's sharing a story right now. And that's indicative of what our kids are experiencing.
Parents in shock. They turn their ire to the parent who asked.
See how the woman turned around? She turned around slow like, oh, man. They probably funny as hell at that school, bro. That's hilarious.
That's the question as Iriola tries to hand the mic over and let the man speak.
You interrupted him. Take the mic.
The meeting was to address racial issues in the school district after a group of black football players was targeted with racial slurs on Snapchat. One of those football players' fathers was the first to come to Iriola's defense.
I had a natural reaction, which was to stand up and confront him. But by and large, everybody was supportive. There was lots of tears, lots of remorse, and I think it was an awakening for those people that were unaware that racism exists.
The offending parent eventually takes the mic to make this.
I guarantee the parents are making a bigger fuss than the kids. When you're on the football field, you be like, oh yeah, that's what you think? Like, a lot of students, we go through this stuff. You know what I mean? As a coming up a black student in a very diverse area, predominantly white, you know what I mean? You go through this stuff, and especially in the school system doesn't really help it when they are passing messages, Christopher Columbus and then slavery this and stuff like that. Slavery was such a small period in time that it should really be glossed over, but it depends on how far back you're going in American and world history. You see what I'm saying? But we seem to sit on those topics, and when you're teaching, you're giving the killer a loaded gun, basically teaching these little kids about how class systems and this group of people is here and this group of people is here and this group of people serve this group of people. Of course, it's going to create divides within people. And then, you know, kids are emotional. Kids don't have a filter. They're just going to get to running their mouth and saying the wrong things. But when you're on that football field, you're like, oh, you called me this? Okay, cool. Let's line up.
Point.
Try being white and walk in a black neighborhood, see what happens. And like this incident where somebody made a little tweet. Okay, nobody was hurt in that. You know, nobody got hurt in that. It was done off campus.
After the meeting.
Oh yeah, he's completely off the chain. He has no idea what he's doing. Now I came to DC and it was like 2012. I went to DC, 2011, 2012. And that's just as they were gentrifying the area. And it was funny, man, because we used to hold little house parties and stuff like that. And we, you know, atrocities would take place. In and outside, we would have one guy got laid on the street. They put the shotgun in his mouth. Now, I went to Howard, you know, historically black college. So a lot of my fellow students would get harassed and robbed on the street and mugged, and a lot of dudes got robbed gunpoint. People were getting stabbed out there left and right. But the people who came in that were getting gentrified didn't get messed with like that. We would see some of the people come in, predominantly white. I'm not saying, man, and I have no hard feelings about it, but this is just experience that I've seen. You know, jogging down the street with their headphones and their phone, and you know, just doing a lot of things that were like blatantly things that we would get robbed for. You see what I'm saying? I believe the first target was black male. The young black male college student, we were the first targets. We was like sitting ducks out there. It was one point, dude got beat up outside the house party. Keys fly out the pocket. They took the keys and then proceeded to burglarize the crib for the next like 6 months. You know what I mean? So imagine being white walking through a black neighborhood. It's sadly not the same dynamic. You see what I'm saying?
Iriola told us the incident felt like an old wound being reopened.
Not just for me, but for my children.
Iriola kept his composure and eventually answered the man's question, which resulted in another outburst.
He asked me a question, why didn't I stay in Mexico? Because this is the greatest country in the world.
Well, you're complaining about being here. You're complaining about being here.
It's not your turn.
It's nothing about it.
Yeah, and look, the school district did put out a statement and says in part that this type of bigotry goes against all the values and beliefs of our school system. It says we will continue to listen to parents and students. Now, the man who spoke up.
Now, yeah, these schools put out these little bullshit statements. You know, they can keep that all day because they really don't mean anything. It's a sad cover up. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a gash. You know what I mean? It's something like that. It doesn't mean anything. Now, the schools need to incorporate more lessons of true equality. You should teach about the Moors or teach about true world history. Things about how there were African emperors in the Roman Empire. We talk about the Roman Empire in school all the time, but we don't talk about things that promote equality. A lot of times we stick on things like slavery. You do slavery for like a month in school, and it's just ridiculous. So, it's your boy Luz.